Namaqualand, one of the most arid and mysterious regions in South Africa. From the Namibian border, Namaqualand stretches along the South Atlantic and its chilly waters. Nearly 1,000 kilometers of rock and sand facing a desert of waves and mist. A stunning landscape. Yet for Bronte, our pilot, there's no time for contemplation. In this isolated region, airports are far and few between, so you must gauge your fuel to avoid the risk of running out.
There's very little fuel along the coast. There's only, between Cape Town and Namibia, there's only one place, which is quite close to the border. So, yeah, it's a long gap, so we have to do our own thing. It's always a problem with fuel in helicopters, always. They never got enough fuel.
Rendezvous on an airstrip lost in the bush. The fuel arrives by road.
Pretty much most things in South Africa. I've done medical rescue, I've done disaster relief, I've flown politicians around for their elections, like Mr. Mandela. Filming, I do a lot of filming, firefighting, tourist flying, all sorts. Oil rigs, I used to work in Nigeria on the oil rigs for a couple of years. So yeah, most things I've had a bit of a go at. Different stuff all the time is what I like. It's a terrible job, huh? But someone has to do it, yeah. No, it's nice, huh? It's a good job. I like filming very much. I like remote places, yeah. I like new places too more. And it's really nice when there's game around and stuff like that too, that's nice. Which we haven't seen much of, unfortunately. I come from Australia, so there's a lot of that. Yeah, I like it when there's no people. That's what I like. You know, I like places out where there's nothing in it. You know. Yeah, I've been here in Africa now for 20 years, and it's a great place.
Here we are on the Diamond Coast, around 600 kilometers north of Cape Town. An inhospitable region, sparsely populated, where from time to time strange cities spring up from the desert. Like Port Noleth, population several thousand, a city born with the trawl for diamonds. Full of hope, prospectors embark on these boats equipped with long vacuum tubes. For weeks, months, they scour the ocean bed. Madness. Diamond fever. For you must surely be a little mad to remain here in the wind, the cold mists and the solitude. Several hundred meters in from the coast, more exploitations, this time industrial, with inaccessible open-cast mines. The Diamond Coast is a highly protected region. To enter and move around, you need a permit. You can fly over it, but you can't land, even in an emergency. That's what worries Bronte. Who knows the turpitudes of the local weather? It's 10 in the morning. It's fine and clear over the land, but thick cloud covers the coast and the sea, impossible to get through. We will have to go far off our route and land outside the forbidden zone.
Never from the land, only from the sea. We only get it from the sea. And it depends on the temperature inland. And when the cold and the cold moisture from the sea meets the warm, then it moistens up, then we get the fog. But the fog always comes in from the sea.
Jack is Afrikaner, a white South African who usually speaks Afrikaans, a language derived from Dutch.
Got up and I went out and I saw and I thought to myself, well, the fog is...
Jack knows this coast very well. He lives with the fog.
But you can still see it, you know, on the horizon. But if you guys have problem again, I've got a nice flat here. If you get stuck, cool.
Well, we didn't get stuck here, unfortunately.
The cold current is a blessed current for South African fishermen. It brings fish in quantity, making the South Atlantic a highly prized fishing ground. There are hake, anchovies, sardines in shoals. When the boats go out, the seals never stop. They let themselves be taken by nets, only to escape at the last moment, once they are gorged with blue fish.
Cold, yeah, always. Always, no, it does. Sometimes it becomes a bit warmer, but not 14 degrees. Sometimes we're lucky 17 degrees, but never higher than that, even in summertime.
Back to the edge of the sea, heading south. The first signs of the start of settlements along this isolated coast that reminds us so much of the North Atlantic, somewhere between Ireland and Brittany. In any case, we're a long way from Namaqualand. Near St. Helena Bay, out in front, facing the ocean, a few villas occupied just a few days a year. Further back, the fish processing plants, employing thousands of hands. And then, almost hidden behind the docks, is the township. A generic word that designates the neighborhoods reserved for the black population, a recurring habitat that is found in every city in South Africa, even the biggest of them. Near St. Helena Bay, another village, another face of this little-known west coast of South Africa. This is Paternoster, so named by shipwrecked Portuguese when they discovered it.
South Africa is very different to the rest of Africa, but once you cross the border there's a lot more small communities, like little farm kind of communities and stuff, which is not so much of in South Africa because it's mainly farms, proper farms, you know. Whereas the rest of Africa it's kind of informal, like it was in the old days, I guess, you know, little tribal farms and things.
We arrive within sight of Cape Town, the Cape, the great metropolis at the end of the African continent. This is another South Africa that presents itself. Most of what we know of Cape Town is this sleek, modern, chic city, a Western city. And if it were not for Table Mountain looming above it, you could very easily imagine yourself in San Diego, California. Built on the shores of Table Bay, Cape Town has a population of nearly 4 million, so it's a major city. But only a white minority live here around the harbour and the main avenues of the city. A profusion of stores, bustling nightlife, a unique city. You could almost forget that Cape Town is first and foremost an African city. Here, as throughout the country, for 40 years the authorities had one obsession: separate people, push the black populations out into the distant suburbs. This staggering geographical segregation still remains today. Some 20 kilometers from the city center, we find Khayelitsha, the biggest township in the Cape. Today it's Sunday, the day of the Lord, and there's singing everywhere. Places of worship are innumerable and improbable here. This country has a knack for clouding the issue. Far from the high-rises and the tin shacks, the highways and the railways, Cape Town has a secret trump card, a natural one. Its peninsula, which ends right in the Atlantic Ocean. The southern tip of the African continent. Table Mountain National Park falls into the category of those sites most highly prized by tourists. They love to go to this extreme edge of the continent. It's true, the place is symbolic, historic, magic. Some people travel almost around the world to come here and be immortalized in front of the sign, the Cape of Good Hope.